Welcome back to EVS class. In the previous class, we learned about the lesson A Treat for Mosquitoes. So today, I am here with the real experience of a Kendra Vidyalaya teacher, Sangeetha Arora, spent at a mountaineering camp conducted by Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttaragashi in Uttarakhand state. There were 20 teachers from Kendra Vidyalaya and other women from banks and other institutions. She started her journey from Nehru Institute of Mountaineering on 2nd February 1984 and ended it on 21st February 1984. She had some adventures in her camp, including crossing the river, rock climbing, camp in the snow, etc. Now she shares her experience from second day of the camp. Before that, let me introduce the lesson Up You Go. Now we can hear her experience. Today was the second day of the camp. In the morning, as I got out of bed and I put my foot down, I screamed in pain because of blisters in my feet. I remember yesterday's 26-kilometer walk with the heavy rucksack on my back. Rucksack means a bag carried on the back or a shoulder supported by straps. So I went to Brigadier room. Brigadier was the director of our adventure course, to tell him I could not come to that day's trek, but Sir ignored it and made me the leader of group number 7. Group number 7 included girls from Assam, Manipur, Mizoram, Meghalaya and Nagaland. I was the only teacher from Kendra Vidyalaya in this group. I was happy to meet my new group members. Most of them could not speak Hindi well. I still feel bad that after being together for 21 days, I could not talk even once with Kodambi from Mizoram. She spoke only Mizo. Do you know what are the responsibilities of a group leader in the mountain? Yes, a group leader must help others in carrying their bag. Next, let the group go ahead and keep to the last. Then help those who cannot climb properly. Then find a good place to stop and rest. Then look after those who are not well. Then arrange for food for the group. These are the responsibilities of a group leader in the mountains. On 5th February 1984, we had one adventurous activity, that is crossing the river. We got vitamin C, iron tablets and hot chocolate milk with our breakfast. These were given for strength and to keep us warm in the cold. Every morning there would be a medical checkup. We tied our bandages and counted the days left. After an 8-kilometer trek, we reached a river. There was a thick rope tied across the river from one bank to the other. The rope was tightly fixed to the pegs or pittons on both the sides. I was feeling nervous. I started thinking what would happen if the rope came out. Our instructor tied a rope around his waist and put a sling, means type of hook, in it. He then put the sling on the thick rope tied across the river. Walking through the icy water, he went to the other side. No one was ready to step into the fast flowing river. Everyone was pushing each other to go first. I stood last in the line, hoping that no one would see me. Just then our instructor came near me with the sling and rope in his hands. I knew there was no escape now. I was ready but did not have the courage. Sir could guess my fears. He called out loudly, "Three cheers for Sangeetha madam." And before I knew it, someone had gently pushed me into the water. I felt as if my feet were frozen. As I walked further in, the river got deeper and slowly the water reached up to my neck. In the middle of the river, I lost my balance and started slipping. I was sure I would be carried away by the river, but no, I found that I was tied with the rope to the sling. Hold the rope. I could hear the shouts. I somehow managed to get hold of the rope and pull myself forward. Slowly, with some courage, I reached the river bank. I felt a special kind of happiness as I came out of the water. I knew that this confidence was a result of facing a challenge with courage. Next adventure activity is rock climbing, held on 10th February 1984. We had to climb 15 kilometers to reach Tekla village. It was at a height of 1600 meters. Our rucksacks had all that we may need: food packets, water bottle, rope, hook, plastic sheet, diary, torch, towel, soap, wind cheater, whistle, glucose, jaggery, chena, and some other snacks. We could see fruits and vegetables growing in the step fields. We saw Colonel Ram Singh standing on a 90 meters high flat rock with pegs and ropes. We had been told to first observe the rock carefully and identify holes, places where we can put our hands and feet. Today I was not going to back out. I stood first in the line. Our instructor tied a rope around his waist. He put the sling and held the thick rope which was hanging. He started climbing as if he was running up. I also put my sling, but as I took my first step, I slipped, and there I was swinging from the rope. Keep your body at an angle of 90 degrees while climbing. I heard, keep your back straight. Do not bend. Keeping this in mind, I imagined the rock as a flat ground and started to climb up. Again, while coming down, we had to use the rope in a special way called rappelling. Rappelling means the special way of coming down using rope. In the meantime, on February 14, 1984, we had a funny incident. It was evening. Kodambi was feeling hungry. We did not have anything to eat. She jumped over the fence and got into a field. She quickly plucked 2 big cucumbers and came back. Just then a woman came from behind and caught hold of her bag. We both spoke to them in our own language, but they did not understand. Finally, I folded my hands and said sorry. By then, our group had gone far ahead. It was already dark. I thought we had lost our way. I tightly held Kudumbi's hand and called out loudly, "Where are you all?" We both started to whistle loudly and flashed our torches. After that, we heard some whistles at a distance. I understood the signal. Kudumbi started to singing a mizo song loudly. After some time, we saw them coming towards us. At last, we were with the group again. After dinner, we met a special guest, that is Bachhendri. She had just been selected as a part of the team to climb Mount Everest. So, She had come to seek the blessing of Brigadier Gyan Singh. It was a happy evening. We were all singing. Bachhendri also joined us in singing and dancing on the famous Pahadi song Bedu Bago. On 18th February 1984, we had camp in the snow. We were standing at a height of 2134 meters. We were to spend the night here. Everyone was busy trying to put up the tent. After quite a lot of pulling and tugging, we managed to put up the tent. Then we dug a drain around the tent. We were very hungry, so we cooked some food and ate it. After the meal, we cleaned the campsite. We were all very tired, so we picked up a sleeping bag full of soft feathers. This helped us to fall asleep faster. The next morning, we woke up and found that it was snowing. White, soft, fluffy snow flakes were gently falling. Everything looked white. Today, we were to climb higher to 2700 meters. So, we walked carefully on the snow with the help of sticks. On 21st February 1984, last day at camp, we were getting ready for the campfire. Each group presented a program. We were enjoying telling jokes and laughing, singing and dancing around the campfire. Soon it was midnight. Brigadier Gyan Singh got up and called me. I thought, what have I done this time? But when Sir announced my name for the Best Performance Award, I stood still. He blessed me and tears of joy rolled down my face. Now I'm going to tell about Bachhendri Pal. She is the first Indian woman and the fifth woman in the world who reached the peak of Mount Everest. Now we can hear about Bachhendri Pal. Bachhendri grew up in a Nakri village in the Garhwal area of Uttarakhand. When she grew older, she joined the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi. Her guide was Brigadier Gyan Singh. Bachhendri did very well in her training. She started to train women in mountaineering courses. In 1984, Bachhendri was selected as a team member to climb the Mount Everest. There were 7 women in that 18-member team. On the night of 15th May, the team was very tired after having reached a height of 7,300 meters. The team put up their tent and went to sleep. Around midnight, they heard a loud sound and then a bang. Before they were fully awake, the tent flew off and something very heavy hit them. There was a terrible snowstorm. Bachhendri was almost buried under the snow and was hurt on the head. Many of the team members were also injured. The other used snow picks and axes to dig out those who had been buried under the snow. The rest of the team members returned to base camp, but Bachhendri went ahead, climbing slowly but steadily towards the peak. At last, on 23rd May, Bachhendri Pal stepped on the peak of 8,900 meter high Mount Everest. Mount Everest, also called Sagarmatha in Nepal. There was another team member with her. There was no space for 2 people to stand on the top at the same time. One flip and they would fall straight down thousands of feet below. Bachhendri and her teammate dug into the snow and pitched their axe firmly in the ice. Using this as a hook. They tied themselves to it with a rope. Only then two of them could stand there. She bowed her head, pitched the national flag, and took photographs. She spent 43 minutes on the highest peak in the world. That's all in this lesson. See you next class. Bye bye.